Welcome to the Young Creatives podcast brought to you by Revision Marketing Group. Young Creative will serve as a platform to promote, discuss, and give advice on millennial creatives coexisting in the traditional job market.
Welcome back to the Young Creatives podcast.
Woo!
Woo!
Okay, so today we have Mikayla Anderson
And Christian Payton.
and the one and only Sidney
Sidney
Jackson,
Jackson.
who is currently fixing his microphone.
Yes.
Hey, y'all.
Okay, well,
Today's episode is going to be fun.
it
I
is gonna
think.
be fun. But it's our last episode of
for the season. So this is season 1, the first season. How do you feel,
The
Mikayla?
end of the first season.
Since this was your baby, how do you feel about that?
This was not just my baby.
Well, yeah, it's not just your, but I just came on like 2 months ago. So I'm like, it's not really my baby as much as it is yours.
I feel like a mother and watching my child grow too fast. That's it. That's all I got.
That's a really good one. For me, for like season 1 and season 2, I feel relieved. One is because 12 episodes went by extremely quickly. We
So
had some
quick.
really good guests on there and some internal ones. So I'm super relieved that it went well. And then season 2 is going to be a lot better.
Immaculate.
Yep.
That's a great word.
Crisp, clean, maybe some new branding. Ooh.
I mean, there was trial and error for season 1 too, so we know like we did that last time. We
We
didn't
got
really
some
like
seasoning under our belt.
it. Yeah,
A lot of it.
a lot.
Especially within these last 2 weeks to close out the season 1. So it's, yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So today, before we jump into the episode,
We have a story.
well, first, what is our story about?
Are we telling a story right now?
No, you got to tell us like why we're telling the story. Like, what are we doing?
Oh, yes. So we are doing a food drive for the holiday season. So last week we were doing like our creative session for our social media, which we do every month. And we were just sitting talking about like what we could do for the month of December, and the idea of a food drive came to us. So we're going to be doing a food drive from now until December 17th. And we titled it Food for the Thought, and it's small businesses working together to help our neighbors. And all of the proceeds are going to be donated to Christian Service, and you can donate like cash or money, like monetary donations can be made to their Cash App, which is the $ Christian Service LA.
Yep. And that organization doesn't have any affiliation with Christian.
Not me, not at all. I actually, Dre didn't ask me that. He was like, "Is this you?" I'm like, "No, it's not me. It has nothing to do with me at all. It's just a great nonprofit here in the Shreveport, Bossier area."
Absolutely.
Yes.
So that was our first big event. So today we had the privilege to go on the Christian Service campus and tour the facility with,
Mr. Al.
shout out to Mr. Al. You're the best if you're listening to this. But yeah, so we went and toured the campus. We got to take some photos, got to learn a little bit more about their mission, what they do for the community around.
Amazing.
So good.
Group, yeah.
So good. And soon after that, we were able to pick up the flyers.
We don't have a flyer near us, but that's okay. I was gonna hold it up, but we don't have one.
Watch our podcast on YouTube shortly. Anyways, so yeah, we went and got the flyers, and then we had to go get
We got the flyers from a small business here in Shreveport as well. So support small businesses.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
Not UPS.
Yeah. Yeah. And so we were going to go get boxes and wrapping paper to decorate the box, to have like one general donation location. That rhymed.
Which is down here. Well, it's on the first floor of the office.
Top.
Yes,
So we went to Walmart.
we did.
You want to?
So we went to Walmart and we were looking for like a box that was big enough for the canned goods, because we're going to get so many donations. Like, that's wishful thinking. So we needed something that was going to be big enough to hold all of our donations. Walmart didn't have anything. So me and Mikayla were like, Well, they should be able to donate a box for us. Like, they get like inventory all the time. Like, they have boxes. But the workers were just not that friendly at all. They were like, we don't have them. They're broken down. We can't help you.
Yeah. It was not it. Like, we went to the office section and we didn't find a box big enough.
Nothing.
And then they were like trying to give us boxes that were just like either laying around the store.
No good for us.
That just weren't like it. And so
we saw one that like really caught our eye, which is the one that we ended up getting that we just wrapped, Sidney. But
so the box that we got had like
candle wax in it on the floor of Walmart.
The box had candle wax in it, and it was used for like a display shelf in Walmart. And there was only like 4 or 5 candle waxes in it, and so we were like, oh.
But mind you, Walmart was packed today. Like, nobody was at work.
Wait, what? Yeah. So y'all took it.
So we moved the candle wax onto another display with candle wax. And we worked together. We worked together to put the box. It was so big, we had to like turn it upside down. People are watching us in Walmart do this. Me and Mikayla put the box in our buggy. And it was so big she couldn't even see. I was like pulling the buggy from the front, and she was pushing it from the back. We went through self checkout. We bought the paper and the bows, and we came back to work and wrapped it.
There was not one question asked by any Walmart employee.
They were
entirety of our duration there.
Okay, so I'm not sure if we'll put this one in the episode because that's kind of like stealing, maybe.
Is it?
Is it?
We're going to say it's not because we just going to say it's not.
It was a donation.
No, it definitely was a donation from Walmart.
Okay.
So we'll start over.
So we're not going to say the Walmart name, but it's
A store.
a store, yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding. It should be fine.
I think
Unless
it'll
it's
be
not.
fine.
And I'm going to snitch on y'all, or y'all just told
We
on
just snitched on
yourselves,
ourselves.
so, yeah.
Do you think we should start over?
No.
I think it'll be fine. It was literally a box that was dang near empty.
Okay.
And we didn't steal candle wax. We didn't steal anything. We put the candle wax
We
to the
literally
side.
took like a giant box.
They were going to throw it in the trash.
Yeah.
Or recycle it.
No way.
It's nah, fam.
Put it this way. This box, we did it for a good purpose though. So
they're helping.
we can go to bed.
I'm going to go to bed I'm going to sleep well tonight.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what all criminals say. We did it for good cause.
Oh,
so,
my
I
God.
mean, it should be fine.
And then after that, we went and got food from Tropical Smoothie Cafe, another small business locally owned in Bossier, Louisiana. So,
Bossier, stand up.
yes. Okay, now we can actually get into the episode, the topic for
So
today's
I hope that you guys
discussion.
enjoyed that funny little tidbit.
We thought it was
We had to
hilarious.
kick it off, especially for the final episode of the season, just to give you a little,
Behind the scenes of what's going on.
it's chaos. Controlled chaos, but good chaos.
End of the year chaos.
Okay. On this episode of Young Creatives, we're going to be talking about something that I feel like a lot of people,
Can relate
quote
to.
unquote, in this day of age are going through. Like, I don't know if my mom would say that she did this. Well,
I mean, at
forget
some
I said
point.
that. Just forget.
Okay.
At some point.
Growing up young, right? I feel like this is a bigger topic than what it was before because the different ways that we're quote unquote growing up are different than what our parents or grandparents
Yeah,
were.
it's different than it's ever been before, just
Yeah.
based off of like technology alone.
Absolutely. So, Sidney, you are 25?
25 going on 40. Yes.
Oh, yep. So how do you feel that, like, you started your business at 23, 22?
22.
Um.
We did this math last week. 22, I think.
22 years old. You started your own business.
Or full time, yes.
Full time. So how hard was that for you at the age of 22 to say, okay, I'm going to start my own business full time?
Extremely hard, but I learned a lot. Didn't make a lot of money, still not making a lot of money. But initially that was the objective, because, well, coming up from Monroe and New Orleans, it was like, hey, we are broke, so we need some cash. So when I went into the business full time, I still was like super broke, especially right out of college. But at the same time, I didn't have a lot of expenses such as like a mortgage or kids to take care of. And my wife or my girlfriend at the time, she didn't spend a lot. So it wasn't like a big jump, but definitely tough, because you didn't know where the next revenue would come from. But I think it's really just all about pacing yourself. So for me, I'm, frugal. Some people, when I say cheap, Christian said use the word frugal.
Yeah, use the word
instead.
frugal.
I think I like the word cheap better though.
I've never heard that before.
So I'm cheap. I don't spend a lot of money. And when revenue comes into the business, you just kind of tuck it away for a rainy day. And yeah, I don't know if I answered the question, but
No,
I think
you
you
did. So, like, as far as, like, starting the business and everything, I just can't see myself starting my own business at 22. Like, I don't know what the heck you had over there. Like, did you already know you wanted to do that?
yes. Well, I didn't know it was going to come so fast, right?
Okay.
And then working with the Small Business Development Center and learning so much about entrepreneurship from entrepreneurs, that allowed me to learn as much as possible, but it didn't really prepare me for the real, as far as like entrepreneurship, you as the individual going through it. But yeah, I didn't truly have a choice as far as like entrepreneurship and going into it full time. I still had the business, and I was laid off due to budget cuts and stuff like that. So it was the perfect opportunity, and it happened a lot quicker than I thought it was. But everything just kind of played out, I think, or it's still playing out in a sense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So with you, Christian, well, first, okay, so when I was preparing for this episode, I was going through the internet and basically just like searching like adulting struggles, because adulting is like a word that
We use.
Yeah, us millennials, Gen Zs, whatever the heck. So I was reading a Reddit thread, and what is an adult problem that you are not prepared for?
There were so many adult problems that I feel like I wasn't prepared for. And there's really no way to prepare for anything as far as like growing up. I feel like becoming an adult, like that's a whole nother subject. Okay, so one that I was not prepared for, I would say, maybe like not talking to or like losing friends. I think I feel like that was one, like losing friends and like just like outgrowing each other, like going down different paths, or like even like when you do talk to a friend that you didn't really lose contact with, like the conversation's not the same. So when I was like 18 or 19, I could call my friend, my best friend, and say, hey, do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? Or like, let's go this place, or like we could just talk for hours. And that's not the case anymore because she's married with a child and she lives in Dallas. So just like going different paths in life wasn't an adult struggle that I think you can prepare for. I wasn't prepared.
Yeah, I definitely wasn't prepared for that either. And that's like, it's okay though.
Yeah.
That you go down different paths. I think it's so like, I don't know if it's just me, but that was like it took me a while to realize, like, it's okay.
It's heartbreaking.
That these people had a time and a place in my life, and that's okay. Like, I don't need them the entire duration of my life. And that's, like, a big swallow of pride, because they don't need me the entire duration of their life.
Yeah, this is definitely true. Because I have a best friend, Tyler, and I think he's in Hawaii now. He's in the military, and he started a family, and then of course me and my wife and kids and everything like that. And in high school we were extremely close, and then we kind of separated as far as like talking every now and then from college, and then it just departs from there in a sense. We still keep in touch every now and then. It's still my friend, but not on a level that it was in high school, which is different. But it's still like a friendship. It's just not as much as it was because you see everybody or each other every day. And now it's like you build more relationships with the people that you see every day, and still kind of stay in contact with other people, other friends from high school and everything.
It's that and
taxes.
That too.
That's literally what I was gonna say.
I wasn't even thinking about taxes, y'all.
Taxes. Yeah, I think as far as prepping, I think it was a way to prep us for like doing taxes, right? From a school standpoint, a parenting standpoint, or just education overall, because taxes is fun. So I did taxes, I think, for the first time in 2018, 2019 maybe.
For the first time of your life?
I think so. No, that can't be right.
My first time was like 2 years ago.
Really?
No, I think it was when I first went to college, so that was 2015, 2016. But with that, it was just my personal taxes. And then I had to do the business taxes.
That's a whole thing.
It's fun.
Right.
Yeah.
So now I hire a CPA to do the business taxes.
Yeah, that's a whole thing.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot.
The smallest things, like Mikayla, when we were doing the sound check, you're like, what am I going to eat for dinner? That was something we never had to think about as children, because we ate what our moms made. Or we complained about it, and then like she made something else. Either way, we didn't have to think about it ourselves.
Right.
It's like always something as an adult. Like if it's not one,
Or
you
like
know the saying,
shopping, or like cleaning the house.
the saying, if it's not one thing, it's another.
Yeah.
That's like true when you're an adult. If it's not one thing, it's like something else.
Yep.
Times 7. Yeah, it's always a lot. It's always a lot that you took for granted as like a child, such as like mom cooking, right?
Yeah.
And I think when we complained about it, she was like, "Well, and that's all you're gonna eat."
That's
it.
definitely
Go to bed hungry.
That's definitely how my mom
You can't
was
be
too.
hungry if you're not gonna eat the red beans and rice every
Monday.
But
Ours was mac and cheese and hot dogs every Monday.
yeah, so I think I definitely took it for granted, like the preparation, because my mom loves cooking, and I absolutely hate it because it's not time consuming. It's just like I'd rather be doing something else.
Yeah. And
other than cooking.
yeah. It takes patience too.
It does. But sometimes I find myself enjoying it when I have the ability to really just kind of like slow down. But you still have to cook every single day. So it's like, yeah.
Well, and then if you're not doing that, then you have to clean the house or do the laundry or... Now I'm getting stressed out. I'm thinking of all the different things I need to do when I get home.
I'm not.
Or like paying for car insurance.
Ooh, girl, gas. I hate paying for gas. Like I miss the days where like I had a car and I got my insurance paid for. I got my gas paid
What about
for.
health care?
It's just
I don't
like,
have to worry about that yet. Do you?
No.
You do though.
I do.
No.
Guess how much it is per month?
How much?
You got to guess.
For you, your wife, and 2
$700.
children.
For me, Adeline, Victoria, Braylon.
$700. More?
You're lying.
I am not
$800.
lying. No, more.
$1,200?
$1,200.
It's $1,100. Yeah.
That's insane.
That's rent. That was literally my rent.
That's more than our mortgage and home insurance right now.
That's insane. Especially if you never get sick.
Yeah. So I'm juggling it like because when I was a student at Northwestern, I didn't pay for health insurance because it was like I'm young, nothing's gonna happen, right? And nothing did, thank God. But now I have a wife, kids, and you just can't juggle the risk with
The
that.
what
so
if.
it's like 1,100.
Ooh, Sidney.
That is so much.
That hurts me.
Yeah, we are, and that's why I'm cheap though. And we were disciplined enough to save, because we're not like making a lot. But with that, we were able to go into cash reserves and get that situated. But it's not going to be like that forever. So, because it's not sustainable. But
I'm riding that military train till the day I die.
I'm about to find me somebody military because that is so much.
that's a lot.
He pays $5 a month
Oh, that's good.
for my health insurance.
That's wonderful.
And I get all my medications for free. I don't mean to rub it in your face.
Well, there was a time when we had that where
Yeah.
it was paid for by my wife's what is it, company?
You said it right.
But we are looking into health insurance for revision
Ooh,
as well.
word. Wait, I knew about this actually.
I did it. Ooh, word.
No, because it's expensive and it should be paid for by the employer. At least I think so. And yeah, it's a lot individually.
So, for an example like health insurance, how did you hold yourself accountable to like, okay, I have to do this?
Oh, I didn't. My wife did.
The honesty.
My wife held me accountable because I'm like, yo, everything is good. But, well, before the kids, now I'm like, yeah. We absolutely have to because kids are fun. And then Adeline with the Kawasaki, and she stayed in the hospital for 3 days. And then the bill came, and it was like a lot. But we had health insurance, so it paid for pretty much all of it. I think it was like 30,000, if I'm not mistaken.
That's insane.
Insane indeed.
This is America.
You can't even afford to get sick.
No.
Nope.
Wow, that's
Can't
insane.
afford not to have health insurance.
Yeah.
It's tough. Yeah, so as far as holding accountable, most times it's my wife holding me accountable for like adulting things, right? From a business standpoint, most times I hold myself accountable. But if I don't, I make sure to share my goals and tasks and everything with other people, so they hold me accountable. Where it's like I feel somewhat ashamed if I don't achieve it, because
That
you have
constant reminder.
Yep. So accountability. That's kind of how I keep up with it or go about it.
That's a good way, though. That is.
That's like, I'm sorry, you were talking.
It's just like, that's a lot of trust, first of all. Like to have in somebody to be like, hey, I need to get this done.
Well,
Is it, though?
I think it takes more like, maybe
More
courage.
vulnerability?
Yeah, you have to be vulnerable to like
yeah.
just like put yourself out there and say, hey, I want to do this and this and this. And then if you don't accomplish it, it's almost like, for me, it would be like, I hate to use the word guilt, but like I would feel like embarrassed almost because it's like I told you I was going to do this and then I didn't come through.
Yeah.
And I didn't come through for myself, so you can't even depend on me for certain things.
Yep.
this is true. Yeah. So most times it's for those big things you shared, but a lot of stuff you kind of work within silo, and you hold yourself accountable. At least until you get to a point where it's like, I know that I'm going to be able to achieve this. And then you share it, or you share it up front, and then you really work towards it. Yeah.
I see people do that in a way on Instagram Or like if they're like wanting to lose weight, like they start like a journal or a diary on Instagram of like
day one of.
Yeah, and they post every single day so that like their followers can like hold, even if their followers like aren't really paying attention, it's like I have these people following me and I said that I was going to do it, so I have to do it because I said I would.
Someone's watching.
Yeah, someone's watching, yeah. So it's the equivalent, I feel. How do you hold yourself accountable, Mikayla?
See, that's the hard part because, man.
Sidney holds her accountable.
It's so hard because it's like I feel like I do these certain things throughout the day, not because I need to get them done, but because I need, how do I put it? Not because I need to get it done, but because I want this to be better for this reason. So, like, if I'm working on a company's website, it's not, I need to get this done to meet a deadline. It's, I need to help them improve their audience or blah, 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 because they're relying on me to do that. Like, having that mindset rather than being like, I need to get these pages done today kind of thing.
Yeah, that's good.
Like, and that took me a very, very long time. Because I remember coming in to revision and being so micro-minded about every single element on the page. And now it's like night and day, honestly. Like, I can see it way higher than I ever thought I would be able to, so I love it. But I was so stressed out before. Wow. I'm chilling now, but not in a good way.
Okay. Chill on, chillax.
This girl.
Gosh.
But that sounds like a deeper level of accountability, because it's not like on specific task items per se. Of course, it's like a website or a different project. You have these due dates, but the accountability runs deeper because you have buy-in with the client, and you're trying to make their business better. And I think for like accountability like that, it transitions to other areas of life, right? Because if I am, take for instance, me and my family with healthcare and stuff like that, it's like, okay, we know that we need 1,100 additional amount or from savings and stuff like that. The accountability isn't me or my wife saying, hey, we have to pay this. The accountability is what happens if we don't.
Yeah.
And then the family putting them in jeopardy if we don't. And that transitions back to the client where it's like, okay, we have to get this website out or this social media out by this deadline. But it's a lot more at stake than this. So that's what's holding me accountable, not the actual due date, if that makes sense.
Which also is kind of a fear factor for me, though. Because, like, it's scary because I get so... It's good and it's bad. I get so emotionally involved in things that if they don't go a certain way, I just, like, freak out. I'm like, I don't know what to do. And I think I'm getting better at it, but...
Yes. You are.
Well, that's good.
It was so hard at first.
That's a part of like the growing up young or like the growth process.
Yeah. So I want to ask you a question because
I gotta take a deep breath.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Whew. So we were talking about this like a little bit, like I think it was like a couple weeks ago, but like trying to figure out like seeing all of your peers on social media either getting engaged or having children. I was going to say babies. Having children or buying houses and everything. And like, how do you think, like, how do you handle that?
Girl, that's everything I'm not doing. So sometimes it's really hard. Sometimes it is like very difficult to like not compare yourself. Just because it's like, what's wrong with me, or like what am I doing wrong, or like I had my life planned out this way or that way, or XYZ. Like you can like go down a rabbit hole of like comparing yourself and like wondering like why it's not you. But then like I have conversations with my older sister all the time, or my best friend, or just like hearing different stories from people that like have things that like I'm trying to like that I want and I don't have right now. And like it's not always what you think it is. So like I'm not married right now, but marriage is work. Like it's hard work. And so that I'm like, you know what? I don't want to fight fair all the time. So I'm glad I'm not married. It's like honestly.
Yeah.
Or like even like not like having a house, like being a homeowner. I was renting for a long time, like an apartment, and I see people my age like having homes, and I'm like, that's amazing. Like, why don't I have that? But then I'm like, well, Christian, like when something messes up, like that's on them. Like you have like a maintenance man you can call. Like that's not your responsibility. So really just realizing like it's not really always what it seems. Like the grass isn't always greener on the other side. And constantly having to remind yourself that like you're exactly where, or me, constantly having to remind myself like I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Like if anything else small changed, I wouldn't even be sitting here having this conversation with you right now. So just like constantly like telling myself that, preaching that to myself. Because I mean, once you like tell yourself something over and over again, like you start to believe it. So like just constantly like speaking to yourself in that way, like telling yourself like, like you're where you're supposed to be. So it's fine. Like when it happens, it happens. You're going to enjoy it that much more, but appreciate these moments right now.
Yeah.
She served it to me.
I'm just saying. Because, I mean, being like 20, I want to tell my age.
You said that like you're like 40 something. But, okay.
I don't know if they can tell from the few episodes. I'm like, I play so much.
Oh my God.
But being 24 and 25 in like a few weeks, like you feel like you like when you're younger, you're like, I want to be married by 25
or
or
have kids at this age.
Yeah.
Or, yep.
And y'all, I don't have anything that I said I was going to have at the age that I said I was going to have it at. Like I graduated high school at 18. So at 22, I should have graduated college. My life did not pan out that way. Like I decided to take a year out from school. And then, so I ended up graduating at 24, 2 years after I was supposed to graduate, quote unquote. And then it's like, okay, well, why I'm not married yet? And then it's like, Christian, you aren't even dating. So how does that work? So really just like being mindful and appreciating like the exact moment that you're in, like truly living your life, like living and enjoying those moments that you're in. That's all I got. Because if you don't, then you'll just be miserable comparing, and like you'll never really enjoy the moments that you're in. And then if I can't enjoy these moments, what makes me think I'm going to enjoy being married, or what makes me think I'm going to be happier with a house or be happier with kids? I'm not even enjoying being single, like, not having as many responsibilities. So why would I enjoy having all these other responsibilities if I can't enjoy not having any right now?
Right.
No, that's really good. For me, I think, so being like 25, right? Mm-hmm. I don't really find myself like comparing myself to other people unless it's like a millionaire at 22 or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like I love the overall process of learning and going through all of these things. So with marriage and being with my wife since 2014, and learning so much about her, and then bringing a kid into the mix and marriage and another kid and then house, it's like it's not the individual things, it's the overall process that helps me out on my path. And to compare myself to somebody else at my age, it's like, well, I don't know what path they were on,
right?
Because my path is mine. And that's how I always take it. Like entrepreneurship and being in business, it's easy to compare yourself to like the other business with someone more seasoned than you, at least for me, right? But at the same time, it's like, well, I'm learning so much as an individual from being an owner of Revision and from being a father and a husband and a homeowner. Home ownership, by the way, is not like it's okay. I probably would have waited to own a home, but yeah, it's cheaper than an apartment.
Yeah.
Which sounds crazy, but
It really is.
yeah, it's just that initial investment.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, like your boy Robert said, no competition because you have your own journey, and if you think I think everybody is where they should be.
Me too.
Because it's your journey.
Yeah.
It can't be defined by something else. What about you, Mikayla?
Sheesh. So it's weird because like out of my college graduating class, I was probably one, if not the first, to get married. And I don't know if it was because of out of envy of my classmates or just like, I don't even care. I don't even know. I don't even want to know. But it was just like they completely like cut everything off. And it was just like, they thought I was on a higher level than them. Like even my close friends were like, you're all grown up now. Like you got a house, you just bought your new car, like you got married, you got your own dog. And I'm like, I still don't know how to even make like spaghetti some nights.
Yeah.
Like if you asked me to make a meatball right now, I couldn't even tell you half of the ingredients.
Yeah.
I gotta look at a recipe card. Mm-hmm. But that was like, I don't even know why we put it like that, because people just thought as soon as I got married, moved away, did all these quote-unquote adult things, that I'm automatically 10 times more mature than them or better than them or, like, different things like that. And they didn't think that I wanted them in my life because of those reasons. Mm-hmm. Which I didn't realize at the time because I didn't have those conversations until later. Mm-hmm. And so when people from back home were reaching out to me and was like, this is what I thought when you moved home and you moved away and, like, we didn't talk. Like, I thought you were out there living your life wanting to, like, not talk to me. And I was like, no? Like, that ain't it.
Yeah, it's the stories that people make up. Because with that, it's like, because I went through something similar in, like, college where I was doing music videos, and this guy, local guy in Natchitoches, he had invested in like a camera and started doing music videos as well. Mm-hmm. And I was the first one to really like do a lot of music videos in Natchitoches. So I was getting known, like the brand, but it wasn't like, hey, I'm making a ton of money. It was like, right. Hey, I can afford to eat ramen in mm-hmm. college now, and since I have like $100 per music video, right? Yeah. So it wasn't like, hey, it's all the way up here right. for me as an individual or for that brand. But once I engaged with this guy, he was like, oh, you're not as bad as I thought mm-hmm. you were. Because people see this stuff and they see you doing stuff, but they don't engage. So they have to make up stories or so they can understand it, right? But once they talk to you and once they get to know you, it's like, oh, it's pretty much the same. Mm-hmm. We're pretty much the same. We just have different journeys, and right. That's fine because for that, like with the music videos, I didn't want to do music videos, and he absolutely enjoyed it. So I would have switched immediately. Mm-hmm. Like I went ahead and invested in the camera and stuff like that. But if somebody else can do it, and I do the editing, you know, but
surprise.
Yeah.
But people, just from lack of knowing, yeah, that happens. But I think communication helps with that a lot, where you can talk to somebody one-on-one and really authentically try to learn more about them. You'll come to find that you have a lot in common. And you'll find insight into the hurdles that they went through for like marriage and what is it, home ownership and kids and all of this other stuff. Because that's what I was seeking when I first started talking to people before all of these things. Like when I was a student, I talked to older people and I was like, hey, how is it being a grandpa or grandma? And really chose to seek knowledge instead of looking at someone and saying, well, they have all of these things, so they're better. And I can't even compete with them because it's not a competition. It's just learning as much as possible. So you have that once you're older and you're going through this process, because you was open enough to have that conversation with people.
Right.
I think that's like a level of maturity. That's a different level of maturity, especially being so young, though. Two things. One, I feel like when people see you in like a certain place in your life that they kind of want for themselves, it's easy to just like judge or like feel like so and so thinks that like they're better than me, or it's just like easy to like tell yourself that. Like it's easy to like tell yourself that and then like you start to believe it even if you have like no facts to go off of. And then two, you said like having conversations and just like communicating those things. That's like an adult thing. Like that was something else that I wasn't ready for, like at like becoming an adult, like having those hard conversations. And that's something that me and my mom talk about all the time, where I'll tell her that I feel some type of way about whatever an issue is. And she's like, tell him. And I'm like,
talk to him.
What do I say? Like, it should be simple, but it's like, I think that a lot of us don't like stepping on toes or making people feel uncomfortable. So it's like we walk around like with a chip on our shoulder a lot of the times, or just kind of like passive aggressive in a way, instead of just like having like tough or like difficult, uncomfortable conversations.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's not like I was trying to like beat these people to the altar. I wasn't like, oh, I'm going to be the first one to get married. Like, blah, 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 blah. Like, I just wanted to do that because I thought it was best for myself.
Yeah.
And you making, like, these stories saying XYZ. And even my best friend, she was saying, like, I felt like I couldn't talk to you. And I'm like, why?
Yeah.
We were roommates for, like, 6 months. Which doesn't seem like a long time, but when you're literally seeing them every day.
Single day, I think that there's like a level. I don't want to use the word jealousy, but I feel like with women, like that's something that we all want, and we all want it by a certain time. So like to see like your friend get that, and like you don't even know like when it's happening for you, it's easy to like just go into that mode of comparing yourself and like being upset, and you don't even know why you're upset, but like you're upset, like you're mad at the other person.
Right.
And so, like, you just make up whatever it is that you feel like sounds right.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
But with that, I think I think if your friend would have like talked to you about marriage and what you were going through, she probably would have made. Well, I'm not sure what you went through like with marriage overall, but it's like that insight helps. It only helps her. And it helps you as well because you have that friend to actually talk to. But it helps her because she can get insight into marriage,
right?
Instead of just like jumping in there and it's like, oh, I didn't think it was going to be like this. But you have someone who's going through it, and if you can really just open up and have conversations and put all of the other feelings aside, right? You gain a lot of knowledge. And I think for something like that, you have to grow as a person. And I think we're all still young, so we have. Well, hopefully we have like a lot of grace for ourselves and giving ourselves permission to have these feelings, but also mature at our own pace. But
yeah, I thought marriage was gonna be all this like fun butterflies, like smoochy smooch, whatever.
You see why I'm still single?
Weeks.
I know.
My mom said the honeymoon phase was gonna end, but like. I didn't believe her. But
she don't know what she's talking about. That's what you were thinking.
Oh, was I rudely awakened? It's not like it. Well, I'll tell it to you straight. It's literally not. Like, you're going to have really good days. You're going to have really bad days. But sometimes you have to choose to love that person because you love them and you want to be with them for the rest of your lives. That's just it.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Because y'all think Victoria is funny. I think she's hilarious, but some days it's like, it's like, yo, chill.
Yep.
And it's always like hills and valleys.
Really is.
Because you have those good moments where you're like, dang, I absolutely love this person. Or I absolutely love my kids, or I absolutely love this house. And then some days, like when the AC breaks or something happens, it's like, freak, what? Why? But it's that medium where you look back and it's like, this is absolutely incredible. It's that where it's just like, it all makes sense. But you have to choose, especially in the valleys, to make it work because of the high points
to get
and
to that
because
next
it's
high
a
point.
positive trend.
Yo, that is so sweet.
It really is, though.
It is.
Yeah, because once you have kids, because marriage is it's incredible, and then you have kids, and you see yourself, and you see your wife or your husband in that person, and some of the traits, it's like, oh, gee whiz.
Yep. I see that now, and I don't even have a baby. But sometimes he be doing stuff, and he'll be like, "Oh, you do this too." And I'm like, I can't even say you're wrong. Like,
yeah, but yeah, it's all a journey though, and it helps. It pushes you as an individual, because that's really at your core. I think that's how humans are made up, where it's just like you internally, and then you attach yourself to these different elements, such as like your spouse or your kids or your house or your job, and passions that you go after. You attach yourself to a piece of that, but all of it comes back to you as an individual to make up your journey, your path, your emotions, and influence you as a person.
No, that's beautiful.
It's a lot, but from a from a data geek standpoint, have to put it in there.
I rolled my eyes. I was like, Sidney literally is like, this is 24/7, guys.
So from a data standpoint, you have all of these points. You have all of these points on just this big piece of paper, and then you are in the middle of it, right? Because the world revolves around the individual always. So you have all of this information that you're bringing into yourself. And it's up to you to kind of decipher what that is and make it the best out of it. It's an individual decision, I think, anyway. Even if it's like tough in life, you're going through a whole lot of stuff. You have all of these good experiences, hopefully, in life where it pulls you up, right? Because you're in the valley of it. You're in a really dark place, or you're comparing yourself to somebody else, but it's like, yo, my experience with all of these hills and valleys is trending upward,
right?
Or it's staying neutral, or within the last month, it's like down, but you still have those high points. And you can look forward to that panning out, because life is life, and it's incredible. Yeah. So this is about us being young, but yeah,
We're some deep young people.
So I want to ask you this question because you actually put it on the piece of paper, but I want to hear your take on it. So how have you been able to separate your reality from what is constantly being portrayed as normal on social media?
How have I been able to do that? I take social media breaks. I have to. I have it's funny because I don't think I've ever told you all this. I have a love-hate relationship with social media. I hate it. But so much of the job revolves around technology and social media. So I have my moments or moments. My moments usually are weeks or months where I just delete all of my social media, and I focus on me. Like, I like to read, so like I'll get back into reading, or like I'll just like go to the park, or like just spend time like with myself, because I really enjoy my own company anyway. So like getting back to spending time with myself, and I do like a lot of self-evaluation. So just like evaluating my heart, like my mind, and I do that through journaling a lot of the times as well. So that's like the biggest way and the most helpful way for me to like separate like what's real from what's fake.
Breaks and journaling.
Yeah.
No, that's really good, because for me, I do it because like real life versus Instagram, picture perfect stuff. And of course, with the job, it's like you have to be on social media.
Right.
Yep.
You have to produce content and stuff like that. But I like the journey of it. So just showcasing and highlighting all of the positive, it's for me, it just doesn't add enough value, right? You don't see that person in their dark moments, and how they were able to come out of it. So for you sharing that, where you have to take breaks, and then this is how you get through that period, is powerful, because other people can relate to that. And I delete social media sometimes because for me, it's just unproductive. Most times I'm just scrolling and stuff like that. But as far as like reality versus something else on social media, I look at a lot of different businesses online, specifically in like the California region, where people get funding, and they do like seed rounds, which is just taking money from investors, and then funding organizations and companies, and growing rapidly. So stuff like that, I have to take a break from looking at it, because we're not in a place to actually do that. But at the same time, it's a hint of like jealousy, because it's like, yo, this 22-year-old or 21-year-old. But at the same time, it's like, yo, you don't know that person's journey. So I always come back to that, and then do research to see how is this possible. As soon as you start learning more about the individual, or about the individual company, or the way that something operates, that knowledge, it sticks with you. But it also takes away, or it allows you to put yourself in position, so to speak, where you know that it's not possible right now. You can accept it, right? And then you can work on, how does this become reality?
Right.
Instead of just looking at it like
beating yourself up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we all have to give ourselves grace based on our journey. So it's, yeah.
How do you, Mikayla?
I think the biggest thing is, this one was really tough, and I didn't start it until probably about a year ago. But straight up not caring what anybody else thinks about me, because like I will put stuff on social media because I want to put it on social media, not because I think this person will like it or be envious of it. And that was a game changer for me, because I wanted to put something on social media because I wanted to put it on social media, and I know some of my family and friends do not know this, or do not would appreciate that kind of thing. Like, people who really value me as a person, that's who I care about. As far as Instagram, do not use it at all. Instagram is the most toxic platform that you can use, because you literally don't know what is photoshopped and what is not.
Unless you do heavy video content like we do at Young+.
Or
Creatives.
that. But that's going into that. That's why I like TikTok, because TikTok has shown me so much lighthearted humor in the world that, like, I'll look at something and I'll be like, that's hilarious. And somebody posted that online knowing, like, I don't care what somebody thinks about this. And, like, I'm saying this because I want to say it. And I don't care. And I admire that because I couldn't do that 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, I felt like I needed to post a picture at homecoming or different things like that, or graduation, XYZ. Like,
And it's funny because I'm the complete opposite. Like, I don't post at all. Like, I'll post, like, on my story. Like, I probably utilize my stories more than I post. Like, I utilize, like, the actual social media, like, platform, like, and where you can actually, like, post, like, videos or pictures. But I don't know. Like, I think for me, it's just, like, I don't want people in my business.
Right. and if they want to be in my business, then reach out to me, kind of thing.
Yeah, but then, like, a lot of the times, like, I feel conflicted, though, because I'm like, why do you even have why do I have, like, the app? Or, like, why do I have a profile if I'm not even going to utilize it? So that's, like, a constant struggle for me personally, like, wanting to post, but then, like, not knowing, like, for me personally, like, right now in life, I don't have, like, a fine line of, like, what I want to post. Like, what do I want people to know about me? I don't have that line yet. Yeah. So I'm just going to play it safe and not post.
Yeah.
So that's something that I'm still struggling with.
I feel that too, because also my mom scared the crap out of me, probably about 16 years old, not to post any stupid things because somehow, like, some employer is going to see it.
Yeah,
Revision.
I mean, that's true.
Canceled.
And so literally, like, I would not post anything from being a sophomore in high school to, like, now. It would be very, like, friend-oriented stuff and nothing else.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to post stupid things about, like, I did in college or, like, because, one, I don't know.
For me, it's, I try my best to post things that's just like that I enjoy, right? So that's going to really be geared towards family and entrepreneurship, and just funny stuff that I find funny, and then adding value, so educating people. So that's some of the stuff that I post, and that I want to, be known for, because for me, I'm not like a private person. I'm private with, like, emotions. Like, I don't get mad or angry in front of other people because, well, I don't get mad and angry a lot, so it doesn't happen in front of people. But I'm kind of like an open book, and I do that because I want other people to be open, especially, like, older people who have more experience, not just in a career path, but in life overall. I can learn from that, and hopefully I can add value to that person as well. So me posting about just different things and talking about different things, I try my best to not have any where it's not different from who I am as a person in real life, because you have that, like, on Instagram, and you have photos and stuff like that. That's why I love video content, because it allows you to talk about different things, and with TikTok, that's a really good platform. Because it adds value in the time that it takes for you to actually record a video. It's quick. So, of course, you have these things that's, like, super produced. But for the most part, it's like, hey, this is how you can stop your baby from crying, or this is something that I'll learn how to do, or this is a cooking recipe, doop, 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 and it's value add.
Right.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
Your For You page is way different than mine. That's all I'm saying.
But, of course, you have the funny stuff on TikTok and everything. But that's what I try to do as far as, like, posting.
Yeah.
Always whatever I think is going to add value. And then whatever I want to post. I think we all should have that freedom to post what we want to post and support what or who we want to support, unless it's in politics. Stand clear of that.
I agree.
Yikes.
Yeah, I think that, like, both of y'all's outlook on, like, just that in general is admirable, because that's just not me. Like I wish that I was more like that. I really do. Like that's like a constant struggle, but yeah.
But at the same time, it's also looking at what you're passionate about.
Yeah.
And find your passion. That's Louisiana.
Like with you, your food drive.
That's all I've been posting about lately.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So and
you don't care what other people think, right?
Oh, you're absolutely right.
So yeah, I mean, and that can be like one facet of it, right? Because it may be the spirit of giving back, and then you can work with different nonprofits and meet with these people and do campaigns and stuff like that, and that's who you are as an individual.
Yeah.
And that's what you really enjoy to do. And then probably on the other side of it, you really love dogs. So you'll post about your dog and right. So whatever you're passionate about and whatever makes you happy, that's what you post about.
Yeah.
And everybody else doesn't really matter. But some people, you can build a community around that. And that's touching back on the personal branding side of it, because it all starts with you as an individual, and having the freedom to post what you want to post.
Thanks, guys.
Of course.
So what advice would you give yourself a year ago?
Apply at Revision Marketing Group.
Oh my God.
A year ago?
Sheesh.
I would have met my husband a year ago if I would have applied at Revision Marketing Group.
Yikes. Yikes.
That was a joke. That was a joke.
She's not referring to Sidney, by the way.
I'm definitely not referring to Sidney, guys.
Yeah, for
It's an inside joke.
She's not talking about me.
It's an inside joke, guys.
Yeah.
It's a revision joke.
Or Michael.
Yeah, I'm not talking about Michael either. Actually, they can think I'm talking about Michael. That's fine.
Oh my gosh, it's not Michael.
I mean, guys, we're
Two.
giving out way too much information by saying it's not Michael too. They can think it's Michael.
Yeah, it's not Michael though.
Okay.
Anyways, some advice that I would give myself a year ago. Where was I a year ago?
In school?
Yeah, so I have to think about like where I was and like what I was doing. I don't know, Sidney, can you go first? I gotta think about
some advice
that.
that I would give myself a year ago.
Yeah.
Take more risk. Push out more opportunities to meet people. Because people are, I'm gonna keep saying this, people are incredible. Just getting to know someone personally, because it's just a wealth of knowledge, even if it isn't, right? Even if you meet somebody and it's like, this person is a doorknob. And I say that because my wife mentioned it to me about me. So it's a joke on me, but it's like people are incredible as far as like how many data points you can pull from someone, just based off of working with someone or talking to somebody, and they talk about family or they talk about work. It's most times it's always something that you didn't know, or even if you did know it, looking at them talk about it and then express emotions about it, it gives you a different outlook onto it. So yeah, I would say for me, some advice for last year, get out and talk to more people.
Yeah.
As many people as possible.
That's good. I would probably, mine would be similar, and that would be like to stop doubting myself. I feel like y'all could probably see that like in me a little bit here, where I'm like, I'm not a creative, or like I don't really know like how to design, and that's something that y'all like constantly like challenge me or like push me at, like, no, like you're gonna do this. Even last week I was so upset with you, Mikayla, for like having me host the podcast. But then even after, I was just very thankful for like you, like, you know, putting me on the spot and saying like, no, I think you should do it this week. So really just like Sidney said, like taking more risk, and like I doubt myself way too much. So just stop doubting yourself. Just stop doubting yourself and live. Oh, Miss Kedra yesterday pulled me to her office and she was like, Christian, like we were talking and she was like, you're just so like uptight, like a little serious, like all the time. And you're only 24. So she was like, you need to learn how to like relax. Like it's okay to relax. So that's something else that I would tell myself, like live your life, have fun, enjoy every moment.
Chillax, it's all good.
Yeah.
It has to be. Yeah, I think with that, I'm I'm really happy to see that worked out because I knew that it would because I did that to Mikayla often.
Oh,
When
really?
she first started. It's like, well, I'm
A
uncomfortable.
lot.
I'm like, yeah, go ahead and, you know.
I was like, oh my gosh, like I don't even know what to say. And then after it was like, even no, during, I was like, this isn't that bad at all. Like it wasn't bad at all.
No, nothing is as bad as we think it is. And it takes someone to really just kind of push you or you push yourself to be in uncomfortable situations. And then from that, it's like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
And you learn so much. So we'll definitely keep pushing you.
I'm
promise.
thankful for that. Even today when we were at the shelter, or not the shelter, but at the office, and like you were taking photos and you were like, because he had us like record a video. And so Mikayla looked at me and she was like, you're just so much more comfortable in front of the camera than you were when you first started. And that's something that is very true for me as well. Because looking at like even doing like the video snippets for social media, just looking at me on the first episode that I was ever on, and then like knowing how I felt then and knowing how I feel right now, so much different, like just so much more comfortable, and like it's easy.
Constant improvement.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's so sweet.
Thank you.
What about you, Mikayla?
My advice I would give myself a year ago: message Sidney back on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
What's that
Set up-
backstory?
Set up an interview with Sidney.
I hunted her down to take this position.
Yeah.
Well, she applied on Indeed. So I looked at all of the candidates because, like, early on hiring, it's a lot for like a small
Job
business.
hunt. Hunting for candidates rather than.
Yeah. So the other side of it, job hunting is a lot in and of itself. And then also the flip side of it, it's like you want to know the person that you're hiring. So it's like, because it's your baby as your business, you hire someone and they have the ability to change the culture. And it's a scary thing. So I looked at all of the candidates for pretty much all positions. Except this last one, which was you. I told Mikayla to go ahead and look at it because I like research and look at everybody. But yeah, I looked on Indeed and then couldn't get in contact with her, so I reached out on what is it, LinkedIn.
Because at this point, I was applying to so many jobs that I just could not keep track of myself. And Sidney messaged me on LinkedIn. I guess I was just talking about like business opportunities in Shreveport overall. I was like, can we like get a coffee and just talk about, like, not even knowing that he's a business owner.
Okay.
Or like the job that I applied to.
Yeah.
I just thought he was like a business owner in the area, not the owner of the company that I applied to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought because I was confused when you reached out. So you reached out, not me, on LinkedIn.
I reached out initially, and then you reached out about the job offer.
Got you. Because I was confused initially. Because I don't know if I reached out or found you on LinkedIn. Because your name was different from the application. And I was like, is this the same person? And then it was like North Dakota, and I was like, is this the same person? Because she said she's in Shreveport, and she messaged me about meeting at a coffee shop, and I was like,
Yep. It was Mikayla Lindquist, my maiden name, from North Dakota.
who is that?
And then Mikayla Anderson
In
in
Shreveport.
Shreveport.
And Sidney being Sidney was like, we'll try it.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
we'll try it. Give everybody a shot because you never know. You never know. Same for like Nick. Nick was one of my first hires. And this dude, to this day, he's just an incredible person, like filled with wisdom and knowledge. And we gained a lot of respect and learned a lot from each other. And I learned a lot from like each one of you guys. So it's like people, because like my first interview with Nick, He had experience with, like, of course, YouTube and video production, which was what I was looking for. So from that, it was like we bonded, and you need that if you're a small company and you're trying to support like culture and things like that. So much to the point where I had a meeting set up for an interview set up the next day with somebody else, and I canceled.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And in business, for me, still being young and stuff like that, and it's no excuse. It was like, you don't do that. And a guy took it well. He was like, I was really looking forward to the interview, but I hope that, it works out. I was like, oh, that's not the way to do that. So for me, it took personal growth and still constant improvement to realize some stuff just isn't right. Because I'm, like my wife said, I'm a doorknob. I don't know what I don't know. But once I do, it's like, oh, that makes sense. So I took the meeting, and it was your guy from Sunbelt Studios over here.
What? Word?
Yeah. And he was just incredible as well and had experience with video production. And he became like a resource down the line. I didn't hire him, but now we work with him to outsource some projects. And he's just an incredible person first, and then a really good video editor second. So it's like everything works out. People.
Yeah, that's like when I interviewed. You guys were like, okay, well, we have another interview. Like, we have a few more interviews. And I was like, okay, like, that's fine. And then the very next day, Mikayla was like, you want the job? I was like, of course I want. No, actually, I was like, actually, I have something lined up, but, like, I would love to, get back with you guys. And you were like, of course, absolutely. And, like, the very next day, I was like, I want the job. And now I'm here.
We were excited. She was super excited because she went through the process of, hiring and stuff like that. And I was excited too, because meeting you, I was like, yeah, this is a perfect fit. But seeing the excitement in Mikayla, and then seeing the excitement, like for my first hire, it was kind of like similar. And it's like you have to not dial it back, but you have to pace yourself. Because everything is so unpredictable. But yeah, incredible.
I'm happy.
We're happy you're happy.
Yeah. So is that it?
Yes, we are running out of
the
SD card.
That's the end of the season.
That's how we're closing it out.
No.
Well, thank you guys so much on behalf of Revision Marketing Group and Young Creative for tuning in with us these past 12 episodes. We'll have a short break after this season. It's not going to be more than 2 to 3 weeks. That way we have some really exciting stuff to present, some good branding, some more video content snippets, and a lot of special guests. So thank you guys so much for joining us on the Young Creative Podcast.
Thanks, guys. See you next year.
Happy New Year. Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year. Peace.
Bye.